he was a gift.
The drop-in was like a home to people who were just coming to Ireland.
Yes.
And it was like a relief because there they got language. Those who didn't have language.
We had childcare as well.
Childcare. Then you had people to get houses, help them call.
Yeah. And you see, I visited the five hostels, and in those hostels, I met people with children in one room. That's where I met Patience. She was upstairs in one room with it. I hadn't gone to visit her. I had gone to visit somebody from Eastern Europe, and I met Patience. She spoke to me. She said, "Are you know?" She just happened to say something to me, and she told me then. She invited me up to her room, and she had 2 children up there. They were very small, and I said to her, and she had recently come to the hostel in Tallaght. And I told her we had a drop-in centre that had just opened and that she'd be very welcome. And I said to her, now she had a buggy, and I said, look, if you like, I'll pick you up tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I'll bring you down and you can see what we have down there, and the children can be, looked after as well. And that's how it started. So, she hadn't even, I think, come out of her room at that stage, because she'd had another child who had died and was buried in Glasnevin. I didn't know about that at the time, till much later. So she was pretty down. Then I realised as she was there, she was a very capable woman. Got involved in lots of things, So those were, Lally was another, Walter, you remember Walter, and Lally, and Walter wasn't there at the time that she was over in Old Court, and she was in a room there, and there were 4 of them, 4 children, and 1 room and herself. So that was difficult. That was a difficult one. So I was there when she came from hospital, and I used to visit, and then eventually she came as well. So that was the sort of thing that I went out to visit all these places, and I invited them. I said, we have this place, it's for you, come and see.
The drop-in was everything to them.
It was, yeah, they did say that.
Because, it was a time when people were living in a state of fear.
Yeah.
So, and the drop-in again helped people to get residency.
Yeah, it did.
So it was a lot of things, because there you get information, there you get compassion, there you get to meet people, networking.
Yeah, networking.
And even people that come there for to volunteer, ended up getting a job with the experience and the references that they got from the drop-in.
Yeah, absolutely. That we did a flyer thing in the square for the voting, for participation in voting. That was very successful. We went over to the IT Tallaght, and we put up a display in relation to what was going on in that, and we invited people if they wanted to.
You recommended people to different events?
Well, we were very keen to showcase diversity and the joy that it brought, and the enrichment that it brought, and the colour, and the everything. Brigidines came to those events. They came in numbers, and they enjoyed it, and they spoke at it as well sometimes. And there was an Australian who was visiting. She came as well. So I invited Brigidine, and I also communicated what was going on. And I invited some of the drop-in people down to the Tallaght events in those days.
People were coming from different places.
And from different places. So we had the politicians there. I can remember Charlie O'Connor. I can remember Brian Hayes. I can remember Mary Corr, all those people who were local politicians in Tallaght. They got to know it. We wanted them to know it. and they spoke, and then we invited Rotimi from Portlaoise, who had been one of to tell his story. Mm-hmm. And he had been one of the Nigerian people who had actually got a footing now into and was engaging in the political system in Portlaoise. So, you know, and then inside we had a women's group on a Wednesday, and we that was for anything women wanted to talk about or to do. And we did some sewing work, we did some painting. I remember I have a picture with you doing a painting that Olivia Murphy, who was an artist who was there with us at one time. You know, it was that the art centre, we liaised with the art centre, we did things together, we put up a tent. When we did the diversity days in the big hall in St. Mael Ruins, it was a big event. Anti-racism, yeah, that was another one. We even took anti-racism into O'Connell Street, and we were there. We were present when the Congolese had a march inside in town. You know, any of those things we were collaborating and helping people to be part of it. You know, we had people coming from. I remember a group came from Tallaght, from the school in Tallaght, and their teacher was going to do it as a kind of a project for them back in Tallaght, and they were very interested. They participated in the day. It was a great experience. You know, we had people in to speak as well. Now, you remember, what was her name? This Zimbabwe girl, lady. What was her name?
Tendai.
Tendai, yes. And she set up for us the women's group. She was the first, and we invited, because we had met her. I had met her someplace. I invited her to come over, and she set up the women's group for us. And then she said, then it is over to you to, you know, she was setting it up. She came once or twice, you know, and then it took off, you know, so it was a...
And the drop-in on Yemi.
Yemi, yes, she has a job with HSE ever since. She eventually got that job. She's still there, you know, working at
So you would think
level.
that the empowerment from the drop-in helped a lot of people into getting into the mainstream society with confidence and...
Yeah, we had another guy who got a job in Intel eventually, and he was very good. Anybody who was with us went on to do better things. That's my understanding of it. And when I meet them out, and I do meet them, it's amazing where you meet people sometimes, and they remember you. And sometimes, you know, I have to jog my memory. But, you know, they remember you, and I'm saying, where are you now? They could be in Dundalk, or they could be in Navan, or someplace like that, you know. But they've gone on.
They have graduated.
They have graduated, yeah. So it was a great success story. I mean, it continues to be. But it was there at an innovative time, and it was there at a time that there was a great need for something. It was after that, actually, that a Minister for Integration was formed in the Fianna Fáil group.
And then Clement got a job with the Minister for Integration.
Yes, yeah. Now Clement played a big role as well, because he was actually in the partnership, and he was able to, that was also a great part of it, and he emceed lots of the things, like a lot of people, you all did. It was a great experience. A great experience, and thanks be to God. Hopefully, I think myself that it was a happy time for people who were part of the drop-in. I don't think anybody was unhappy there.
I remember even people who were bereaved looked up to the drop-in to help them out.
Yeah.